So it is with special excitement that I introduce our speaker today, Michael Notaro, with his speech, Toastmasters, Achieving Greatness Together.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Wow. Well, everybody stand up and stretch out a little bit. Give the person in front of you a little back rub. Thank you. Perfect. All right. Some of you getting carried away with this? Oh, good, good. Well, it is an honor to be back in District 39. I send you my greetings from my home district. I'm just a couple miles up the road in Alameda, California. I jumped in my car today, my musical car, Hyundai Sonata, and I rolled on through. And I want to recognize that we have royalty here today. Gary, do you believe that? We have 4 separate district directors. And I'd like them to stand up and be recognized. Terry McDonald, Catherine Pratt, where is she? Debbie Baker and George Jurosik. One of the things that fuels our organization is teamwork. And I love it when our district directors are together. I also want to recognize some really outstanding Toastmasters in this district who are doing some really good things. Division A, Governor Nancy Potts. Welcome, Nancy. Come on in, Nancy. I have a gift for you. Good job. And we have a fantastic area director who is a member of the 49ers Toastmasters Club that meets at 6:30 in the morning. Kathy O'Ray, where are you? Kathy, come on up here, Kathy. Good. There you go. I hope you're feeling better.
Thank you. Yes, I am.
Good. We also have an outstanding Toastmaster here from the Voices of Lincoln. Terry Ferranti. Where is Terry here? She's here somewhere. Come on up, Terry. Come on up. Give her a round of applause. Yeah, I have a gift for you. Terry, what do you love best about Toastmasters?
I love my... I have to learn how to speak with a microphone. I love the support I get from my club, and I also it is the most positive experience you can imagine. Thank you.
Give her a round of applause. Now, when I was a young Toastmaster, I came to these meetings, and I was so shy. Cheryl was painfully shy, but I was more painful than you. I want to recognize some people here from the Determined Toastmasters Club. Rebecca, please stand and be recognized. Good.
Great memory.
Rebecca, what do you love most about Toastmasters? I'll control the mic.
Definitely the support and the family. Just meeting lots of great people here.
Give her a round of applause. And last, but certainly not least, I want to recognize a special lady who came here from that beautiful country of San Diego, California. And boy, does she have sparkle, I'll tell you. And I want to just share something with you because I'm so encouraged whenever I hear Cheryl speak. I was international president when we were reviewing the accredited speakers program. And I can remember being in a room and saying, if we can only find the right person for the leadership, for the energy to really rejuvenate this program. And boy, I am so excited to see what Cheryl is doing, which is opening up for Toastmasters that venue of professional speaking. And what an outstanding example she is. So please welcome Cheryl Rausch again. She's going to get a gift, and I know she can drive up here. Thank you so much.
Honored. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Cheryl Rausch, fantastic. Great to have her. Well, a lot of people have been asking me, hey, what are you doing? You're a past president. What happens after you're a past president? Do you just go to the graveyard or? And I was so touched during Cheryl's speech because I was thinking about Helen Blanchard. And for some of you who may have just come in, Helen Blanchard is what? The first president of Toastmasters who was a woman. And she was really a remarkable lady. And Cheryl and I were at her funeral. I believe it was the year after I was president. And I just wish the world of Toastmasters could have heard some of the things that were said about her, because she was a woman who didn't break the glass ceiling. She floated gracefully through the glass ceiling. And what I mean by that is she was a remarkably charming woman and a gentle woman. She was not an aggressive, pushy type of woman, as Cheryl knows. She was a remarkably talented, bright woman. And she moved to the very highest levels of our organization. And her name kept coming up when I was international president. One of the trips I took was to India. Any people here been to India? Okay. It's a remarkable place, and it's growing fast in Toastmasters. And I remember I was with Balraj Arunasalam, and he's going to be our international president in 2017, 2018. And for those of you who don't know him, Balraj Arunasalam is an Indian man, and if you can imagine a man with as much energy as Cheryl Rausch in an Indian body, that's Balraj Arunasalam. And Balraj said to me one morning, we came in at about 3 o'clock, and we were in the same room, and then he woke me up at about 4:30. He said, we're going to Mumbai because I want you to see this club. And we traveled, and as you may know, traveling through India, it's a zoo, okay? I mean, you talk about traffic, just to get from one place, a couple miles can take a couple hours. But we finally got to this meeting. And we saw a meeting of about 20 engineers. There's a lot of engineers over in India, men. And just as I walked in, a woman walked in who was the president of that club. And she said to me, this is the most important, most enjoyable part of my week. I traveled 2.5 hours to get to this club meeting. I traveled 2.5 hours back. I am the president of this club. I am in Toastmasters because someday I want to be like Helen Blanchard. I want to be international president. And it really touched me. Some of you may not appreciate the transformational power of Toastmasters International. We are active in a lot of places in the world that do not have the gender equality we have in USA. There are still places in the globe where men sit in the front of the meeting and women sit in the back of the meeting. Our organization in many parts of the world, the Middle East, India, we have a mission and a transformational power that is much bigger than communication or leadership. We are transforming the way the whole culture interacts in many of these organizations. Because in Toastmasters, we have women in the very highest levels of our organization, and we're very proud of it. 51% of the organization is women. Yes. Which means I was elected as a minority candidate. Yeah. Well, I want to share with you today a little bit about what I feel is in the engine room of Toastmasters International. A lot of people have asked me, what does it take to be president of Toastmasters International? And what I tell them is, you don't have to be the best speaker in the world. You don't have to be the best leader in the world. You don't have to be the best looking. Well, maybe the best looking, okay. But you do have to work the program. As Cheryl said so well, you work the program and the program works. And that's what I did. Now, Cheryl and I have both been in the organization 3 decades. I've been in 3 decades in dog years. I joined when I was a doggy college student at the University of California. And back in those days, I was a shy guy. If I said hi to you, I thought we were having a big conversation together, okay? And coming to Toastmasters, that very first meeting, I saw the excitement. And I want you, everybody here, to visualize, imagine what it was like the first time you went to a Toastmasters meeting. Do you remember opening up the door and walking into a room of strangers who would become friends? Do you remember the warm handshake of the sergeant at arms? Do you remember the crack of the gavel? Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Do you remember standing up, shaking, and saying, I'm glad to be here? Do you remember seeing the prepared speeches, the evaluations, and the table topics? And then at that meeting, or perhaps a successive meeting, everybody here said yes to Toastmasters. And when you said yes to that club experience, you may not have even known this district even existed. But for that instant in time, you believed that that group of people could help empower you to be better speaker, better leader, better communicator. For that instant, you felt the promise of Toastmasters International. Now, I want you to move forward from that moment. I want you to move forward to today. Some of you have been in Toastmasters a couple days, a couple years, a couple decades. And I want you to think about how you have grown, the professional development that you have experienced since coming into our organization. On a scale of 1 to 10, turn to the person alongside you, with 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, and share with them what you feel your professional growth has been from start date to today. Do that right now. All right. How does that feel? Catherine Pratt, District Governor, District Director, District 4. Please stand. Tell us where you're at, New Mayor.
I'm definitely at a 10. From somebody who cried during their icebreaker to leading one of the largest districts in the entire world, it's an amazing transformation.
Give her a round of applause. I'm going to ask the conference chair because she gives out money. Donna? Yes. Please stand.
Well, I was telling these guys it's about a 13. July 1st is my 3-year anniversary with Toastmasters. And in September of last year, I had the guts to quit a very well-paying job to become a fully commissioned individual with Edward Jones. Would not have done it without Toastmasters and my mentor here.
Give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
Each of us has a trajectory in the Toastmasters journey. We start from someplace, and we're going someplace. Each of us has potential. And Toastmasters has a remarkable way of bringing it out. And it certainly has done that for me. As George mentioned in the introduction, I was born in the Windy City of Chicago. Any people from the Windy City? There's a great to see you. And it's windy. It blew my tattoos all the way out to California. Growing up, I grew up in an Italian-Irish neighborhood on the west part of the city. And one thing I remember about Chicago before I left was the way the mayor of that city, who had a political machine, controlled the city of Chicago. His name was Richard J. Daley. And Richard J. Daley had an iron fist in Chicago. And my grandfather, I'll never forget, came to me when I was 18 years old. He stuck a finger in my chest and he said, "You will vote for Richard J. Daley, mayor of Chicago." And I was a smart aleck kid, and I said, "Gramps, I vote for Richard J. Daley over my dead body." Little did I know dead people did vote for Richard J. Daley in Chicago. In fact, I'm planning to be buried in Chicago so I can stay politically active after my death. Well, that Chicago experience, growing up and then coming out to California, University of California, and going through that wonderful University of California system. I know many of you here have also gone through that. And coming to my senior year, I just came to this point. I was a political economy major, so I didn't have any promising jobs in technology or much of anything. But I started getting nervous about my future. And one day walking home from class, I saw a sign that said, "Join Toastmasters, stand up and speak out." And I got curious. I just used to walk by that sign every day and I'd think, is that for me? And no, that's not for me. And then one day I got up my courage and I actually went to a meeting, and it was the MBA students at the University of California. And they were very warm and welcoming towards me, and they asked me if I wanted to join the club. And I said,